Hello, amazing investors all around the world. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening,
wherever you are in the world,
depending from wherever you are in the world. So, in today's video, we are going to be educating you on foundations, the different types of foundations. And while we are talking about the different types of foundation, we are going to bring up some of our other projects that we have handled so that you can have an understanding of what we are talking about. Yeah. So Engineer Rotimi, for different locations, different foundations will work.
Right.
And once a client gets it wrong from the foundation, the client is sure that every money put on the building in a short time will be a waste. So foundation is very, very important when it comes to your construction work. And I want to tell everybody that once you are setting out to build, please, for every expert advice you are giving when it comes to the foundation, heed to that expert advice. So it will not be a matter of penny wise, pound foolish, because some people who want to say they want to save money, costs when it comes to building, they are taking care of the foundation. Yeah. But once the building is sitting on the wrong foundation,
you are sure you are throwing away money.
You are throwing away money, and it won't take a long time.
That's right.
You begin to see that. So please educate us on the type of foundation.
Okay, so we are in Lekki axis of Lagos, and generally Lekki is a sandy area, and areas with sandy soil like what we have here, we have what we call the bearing capacity of the soil.
Okay.
The bearing capacity of the soil is the ability of the soil to carry the building that you are putting on it. So generally in a sandy area like this, the bearing capacity is low. It's not good enough to sustain the building. So what we have in what we normally use in this area, and depends on the particular location also, is generally we use what we call a raft foundation. A raft foundation is like it's more like when you have a boat on water.
A boat on water.
Yes, you know, the entire foundation is connected together. So it's like how do I put it now? So a very rigid foundation, such that when you have loads at different points, it will not give what you call differential settlement.
Yeah.
You know, the major difference between a raft foundation and the kind of foundation that we do on the mainland, for example, where we have very good solid soil. You know, where in the mainland area we can have what we call the pad foundations, or isolated footings. In which case, columns have what we call isolated footings that, you know, each column has just a base around it. But here, in an area where the soil is not so good, you have to tie all those like individual bases together to form what we call a raft. So that is what we have here. So a raft foundation, you know, it connects all the load points in the building, connects everything together, such that when you are going to have settlement, because generally when you are building, you are bound to have settlement. No matter how small it is. So, but when you are going to have a settlement here, the settlement will be uniform. It will not be that one side is settling 10 millimeters, another one is settling 20 millimeters. So once you have differential settlement like that, building starts tilting, and then you start having cracks.
And before you know,
your building is a waste.
It will just come down.
You know, so that's the reason why we have raft foundations in areas where the soil capacity is not so low. And I should just point out to you also that even in this kind of an area, I always advise my clients that they should do what we call a subsoil investigation.
Subsoil investigation.
That is one thing I will tell you, that this is going to be money well spent for you. Because there's no point you are going to do a building that you are going to spend as much as 10-15 million naira on the foundation. And the subsoil investigation that will cost you just a couple of hundreds of thousands. You will say that it is too much. I always advise my clients, because I've seen situations where from one point, distance of maybe about 30 or 50 meters, even in the same area, the subsoil the conditions are different. In one area, a raft foundation will be adequate. In the other area, you have to do pile. So it's always important. I always advise my clients, please ensure that you do a subsoil investigation for your project site before you do so that you can do a proper foundation design.
So that you know where you want to do raft, and if there is necessity for piling in some part of the land, you have to do pipe.
So it's extremely important that you do that before you do your foundation design. So for here we have our raft foundation. It's based on the subsoil investigation we have here. The raft foundation is good enough, to sustain the building.
And one thing about this raft foundation is that it is higher than the road. Let me show you. This is where the raft.
Yes, although the plaster has already covered part of.
Yes, so the plaster has covered some parts.
The top of the ground beam is way higher than the road level. That is very, very important. So that you don't have a situation where after your building now settles, your ground floor now becomes a basement.
Yes.
And it has gone below the road level, and then you start battling with water and flooding.
Okay. Then another thing I want to ask in terms of foundation, Engineer Rotimi, is we just spoke about the sandy side, like what we have here, we are building, and we spoke about the mainland where we have the soil having a better capacity. So what about in an area that is waterlogged or swampy? What happens when it comes to building a foundation in such an area?
Yeah, where you start from, just as I said, the subsoil investigation is extremely important.
Okay.
In fact, there are areas where you can do your building and you can be seeing water under. In fact, I was at an estate in Ebutemeta yesterday. The estate is on piles, such that the ground floor is raised up, and you can actually see
the water
underneath it. Because that's the way the soil in that area is. So you can actually have your ground floor will be suspended. And then you can even have space underneath. But the fact is that the building is on piles. So the load transfers to very, very strong beneath the ground surface, maybe
so some rocks on the ground.
Yes, maybe like 10, 15, 20, 30 meters below the ground.
The ground.
So with that one, you will never have any situation where your building is settling
differentially.
And one other thing I think I should mention here, based on my years of experience, I've been on a project before where many of the buildings on that project at the end of the day had to be demolished.
Wow.
Even though they were done on pile foundation. And why I'm saying this is that there are different types of piles, and it's not every type of pile that is suitable for every position. Yes. Unfortunately for the clients there, they used the wrong type of pile.
Wow.
And then buildings as high as 5-story buildings, at the end of the day, they had to pull them down.
Because they started bending.
They started bending because they used the wrong type of piles. So there are different types of piles that can be suitable for different soil conditions or different areas. But all that information will be given from a proper subsoil investigation. That is why that is extremely important, so that you do not throw money away. Because generally, if you do not do your right foundation, it's as good as throwing money away.
Okay. So and if a building is going to be going to as high as 5-story buildings, 6, 10-story buildings, even if you are having the foundation on a ground that is compacted, what will you advise? Then if such a building is going to be on a waterlogged area and is going that high, what will you also advise?
Yeah, just like I said, it's
everything based on the subsoil.
The subsoil, because so that it will not be like you are groping in darkness or you are just doing guesswork. The subsoil investigation will tell you that, okay, at this level of the soil, maybe 1 meter below the existing ground, this is the bearing capacity you have. It will not be able to sustain your building. You have to go further down. And that further down too, it has to be determined. You will not just say that you are going to do a pile that is 10 meters long.
10 meters long.
For all you know, that location, 10 meters pile, may be going to a water body. It may not be getting to the rock.
Yeah.
So your subsoil investigation will tell you that
open your eyes to all that.
For you to get a good bearing capacity, you have to go 20 meters down. And if you go and do a pile that is not 20 meters, you go and do a pile that is
18 meters.
you are going to run into trouble.
Yeah.
You know, so that is why the subsoil investigation is very, very important. You know, it will help you such that you are not doing a guesswork. You are doing something that is targeted, that you are sure that at the end of the day, you are not going to be just throwing your money away. Yeah.
So investors, you have heard it. For every one of you who wants to build a project, okay? You want to build a building, you want this building to stand the test of time. 50 years, 100 years, your foundation is very, very important. And as Engineer Rotimi has said, the subsoil analysis is very, very important. So the best thing for you to do is to, you know, involve experts like us on your construction work, so that at the end of the day, you will not just be throwing your money to waste. Engineer Rotimi has about 4 decades of experience when it comes to what building as a civil engineer, okay? And with someone like this in our team, you are definitely guaranteed that your building will stand the test of time in terms of quality and in terms of giving you value for your money. So investors all around the world, we are available to help you handle your building projects professionally and to a very great standard. And trust me, at the end of the day, you'll be happy you did. So always reach out to us. WealthWey Construction will come to you. Any part of Nigeria, we are available. Outside the country, we are available to help you handle those building projects. And if you have not yet subscribed to this video, Engineer Rotimi, what will you tell them if they are not yet?
The subscribe button right away.
Okay.
And then so that you'll be able to get all the contents that you need to be properly educated in getting your construction done. Okay, so subscribe to this video, share this video to as many people as possible. There are a lot of people that need experts like Engineer Rotimi to be at the ends of affairs, coordinating their work. And so once you reach out to us, we'll be able to give you the best advice, handle your project from start to finish, and you'll be happy you did. So investors, reach out to us, and we'll be on this end expecting your call. Thank you very much for watching this video to the end. As usual, investors, God bless. God bless you.
God bless.